Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy and some chirping
And
noises.
Steve told me you couldn't hear them.
I can hear them now, but it's not annoying, it's cute.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm here with my bestie Jessica, and there are 11 baby chicks a couple feet from me.
When Mandy says she has a farm, she was not joking.
Yeah.
So,
So it is baby chick time. But
yeah.
they're too little to really go out into the brooder yet because they just
hmm
hatched. So they're gonna be in here for like a week. But they have to be in this room because it's the only room that gets a lot of good light because they need natural light in addition to their heat lamp. That I have a closing door that I can close to keep my
Animals out.
other pets out.
Yeah. So if you
The
guys hear
cat
the
and the
little
two
chirpies,
dogs.
if you hear the chirpies, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So, all right. So this video is our March wrap up. This is where we're going to go over our top 5 books plus our favorite audiobook in order from 5 to 1. Audiobook will be on its own at the end.
Okay.
Okay. So before we start with that though, what you got going on?
Well, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like, comment, and hype our videos. We really appreciate it. Tell us what was your number one read in March.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we have a giveaway going on. It is a signed copy of Snap Decision by Lisa Suzanne. And you just have to hit that subscribe button and then hop over into her Facebook readers group, which will be linked below, and post a screenshot that you've subscribed, and then you will be entered to win a signed copy
Yay.
of her newest release. And if you haven't checked out our author interview with her, you should go do that because it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. It was. Okay. So, how was March for you?
March was busy. I got a lot of reading in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Did
do
you
you want my
actually do?
stats?
Yeah, that's what we always do.
Okay, I'm 5'6".
No, not that stats. Not those stats. You're reading stats.
Okay, my reading stats. I read 45 books and I had 14 5 stars.
Oh, that's a good 5 stars.
That is good, but I was actually able to narrow this down. I had a little bit of problem, but I got it whittled down.
Okay. All right. So I read 30 books and I had 9 5 stars. And I didn't have a problem at all whittling mine down.
Of course
So
you
there you
didn't.
go. Of course I did. All right. Well, let's get started. My book number 5 for the month, I never feel ready to do this, is, I feel like something fell. Sorry. Things That Break Us by Michelle Hurd. I don't want like things falling out of my journal. We'll be in trouble. So Things That Break Us by Michelle Hurd was book number 5 for me. This one is about Easton and Nova. So Nova gets a phone call. So she's in an abusive relationship. She leaves her boyfriend. She's at a hotel. She's kind of, she's just left him, like it's fresh, like he hasn't even figured it out yet, when she gets a call from her best friend Nova, or not both best friend Nova, she gets a call from her best friend who is Rachel. She is Nova, and Rachel is in California, so she's clear across the country from her, and she just says there's something wrong and I need you to come right away. She doesn't tell her what, she doesn't tell her anything. She says, we'll talk about it when you get here. So Nova drops everything and drives in her beat up truck for 2 days to get to California. So her best friend lives in California because she lives with her older brother. And the older brother is an actor, and he's making a name for himself in Hollywood. And the best friend also has a 10-year-old daughter that she got pregnant with when she was 18. And so she's a single mom, didn't know who the dad is. So she gets out there and the best friend says, I have a brain tumor and I have 2 months or less left to live. And there's nothing that can be done. And so they call the brother home. He's filming in Australia, and it just kind of goes from there. Nova has always had a crush on the brother. He was an older brother, but this book is gut-wrenching. It ripped my daggone heart out. It made me call Mandy several times and tell her to never leave me. It was quite the thing. And it's a lot if a book can make me cry. This one did, which is why it was my number 5 spot. It's not perfect, but I gave it 5 stars because it made me cry and it was very emotional in the first half.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, next, my number 5 book is In Her Own League by Liz Tom 40. I've been waiting and waiting for this book, so I was so excited when it came, and it did not disappoint at all. So this is a spinoff of the Windy City series. For those of us who really love this series, we feel like this book just really fits right in the series and isn't really necessarily a spinoff, but that's how Liz has marketed it. So this is Monty and Reese's story. We've seen them in previous books a little bit, but not a lot. Monty more than Reese. So Reese has just taken over the Major League Baseball team. She's the first female owner, and she's met with some resistance from the board and some of the other people on staff, including Monty. But Monty's resistance is the changes that she's wanting to make without listening to him. And it's not so much that she's a woman, which is where a lot of the men on the board are like, we need to do this because you're a woman. And they kind of give her a bad time. And so while that's happening, Monty kind of gets frustrated with them and is like, they need to give Reese a chance, but he's still kind of frustrated with her himself. And it kind of goes back to and forth because they don't see eye to eye. So there's a lot of really good banter between the two of them. That's very natural feeling that slowly starts to lead over into that flirty banter, which we all love. And so this is a really slow burn because a lot is on the line for Reese, because if she gets involved with the coach of her team, that's not going to look good for her. And so she's really got to be careful about how all this plays out. But she just finds that her and Monty fit together really, really well. And I loved it. So it definitely has really good forbidden vibes to it if you're looking for that.
Okay.
I almost knocked a bunch of stuff off my desk.
And on to the chicks.
No, they're a little bit further over, but.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, the next book I have, or book number 4 on my list, is The Guardian's Angel by May Alder. I read this at the beginning of the month and I really enjoyed it. It's a kinky little thing. So this is about Shayla and James. So James is the guardian to his sister's baby. The baby is 3 months old and the sister has passed away. And so he is just trying to figure this out. He has no clue what he's doing, and it shows. And so he calls his neighbor who's across the street quite a bit to ask for her help. She is a mom who has a ton of kids, and she actually has a newborn of her own at home. And so she's been coming over to help him with this baby. And one night he calls her, it's the middle of the night, baby will not stop crying. And so he goes to answer the door and he expects to see the mom, the woman across the street, and who he finds is Shayla, who is her daughter. Her daughter comes in and sits down with the baby, and baby immediately goes for the boob, and she attaches him to the boob, and he's like, what the heck is going on? So Shayla actually is a teen mom. She is has just turned 18, or is about to turn 18 when this takes place. She had a teen pregnancy. She has an 8-month-old or a 9-month-old at home, and she breastfeeds that baby. And so she actually starts coming over to breastfeed baby Grayson. And James realizes that he's kind of got some feelings for her. He brings her on as the nanny, but things get complicated very, very quickly, especially when she turns 18. There's some lactation kink there for sure. Baby's not the only one she breastfeeds. Okay. It's true. Anyhow, what's book number 4 for you?
On that note, let's talk about a romantic suspense.
Okay.
Feels like a great way to switch to the next topic. Yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lactation kink to romantic suspense. Yeah. So here we go. So coming in at number 4 on my list is Across the Vanishing Sky by Catherine Cowles. So this is the first book in her new series, Starlight Grove. We have Bray. Bray moves to Starlight Grove because her best friend went missing there about a year ago when the two of them were on a hike. Bray has a son, and her best friend was kind of the only person that was there. Like, it was the two of them with the baby, you know, and as he got older, that sort of thing. And so they weren't co-parents, but Bray was like really, I don't want to say codependent, but her friend was really there for her. And so she feels a lot of guilt that her friend went missing on this hike, and she feels like she would know if something, like if her friend had passed away. And so she's adamant that somewhere her friend is. And so she moves to this town to try and figure out what happened to her friend. And in doing so, she ends up with a very awkward meet cute of Dex. And Dex is former FBI, former hacker that isn't supposed to be hacking anymore type situation. And he agrees to help her try and figure out what's going on because he also carries some guilt because his dad was a serial killer. And he just has guilt about that. And so him and his brothers are trying to right a lot of their dad's wrongs, I guess you could say. So he gets involved to help her try and find her brother. And there is a lot going on because it's a romantic suspense and it's Catherine Cow's world, and you don't want to fall in love there.
Okay.
Right? I always say that about her books because it just feels like it's not a good place to fall in love.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
because she writes romantic suspense.
I get it. I do. I get it. I promise.
Okay.
Okay. Can I talk about my next book now?
Yes.
Which is another place you probably would
and you were like icing me out.
I was not. I was trying not to forget the names of the two main characters in my next book. And now I've already forgotten again.
It was your top third read of the month, and you can't tell us who the characters were. Interesting.
Nope, I'm not good with names at all. Sometimes I barely even remember my own. It's all good. Okay, so book number 3 for me.
Well, that's because you go by 2 different names.
True. Is several of them actually. Sinner's Retreat, and you give me a new nickname every 5 minutes. So, that's not helping the book case either.
Are you calling me fat?
How did that turn into me calling you fat?
Because from the joke nicknames of like your bestie's the last thing that you ate. So if I'm changing your nickname every 5 minutes.
I know you ate a fortune cookie a few minutes ago. Okay, let's just put it that way. So, okay, anyhow.
Okay. We have derailed. You're probably going to need to do some editing.
No, it's fine. It's all good. Okay, so Sinner's Retreat by Lauren Beale. And I will say that Audible is having their sale right now, and all of the books in the Slaycation series are on sale. And I think there's only a couple of days left in the Audible sale, but you can go get these because they're great Audible audiobooks. They're full cast audio, and she's the same cast throughout all 3 books, and then the main characters just change up because the person who voices them in book 1 is their voice when they get their book. Does that make sense? Kind of messing things up there. Okay, anyhow, so this is a part of the Slaycation series. This is the very first book. This is a dark rom-com, and it makes me just question all sorts of things about Lauren Beale, but then myself because I enjoyed it. So this is about Kendra and Ezra. So Kendra is the heartbreak killer. So she is a serial killer, and she kills men who harm children and harm women. And she has this apprentice who hasn't made her first kill yet, and she's quite the little ray of sunshine. But Kendra finds out, so she's been killing people too, trying to find out who killed her brother. And she knows the name of the guy who killed her brother, the serial killer name of the guy, but she's never met the guy. When she and her little apprentice girl find out that there is going to be a retreat on a tropical island, and it is for all of these serial killers, and they get together and they play games, and their games revolve around killing people because that's what you do. But typically they're people who are really bad that are there that have harmed other people. So, it's all good. And she finds out that the person who murdered her brother is going to be on this retreat. And so they find a way to get to this retreat. Well, along the way, she meets Ezra on the airplane. She has a very embarrassing irritable bowel moment on the plane, and a vibrating toy moment on the plane in front of a priest and Ezra. But they end up having a one-night stand, and then during their layover, then the next day, as they're headed on their private jet to go to the actual Sinner's Retreat, that's when she realizes that he is on the retreat with her. So, this is totally one of those he falls first kind of situations too. It's hilarious. And gross in some points too. It's hilarious and gross. It's great. Okay. Next.
Okay. In spot number 3 for me is Claire Kent.
Okay. Cool.
So I was really struggling between Protected and Lost Song, but I decided to go with Protected because we do have our mute hero. in that one.
Yeah, I
And I
love him.
have just been loving this world so much. Like I finish a book in it and then I just want to go back to it so badly. So I'm just I just am obsessed with it right now. So I'm going to go with Protected by Claire Kent. This is about Lila and Beck. So Lila, this is about 2 years after Impact. And if you're not familiar with the series, impact is when this asteroid hit the earth and like everything on earth has changed because of the impact of this, because of how big it was and the dust covering. So the sun is barely out at times, and a lot of people have died from just the bad air, and it's hard to grow food, it's hard to find food, so it's just been a big struggle bus. So this is about 2 years after impact, and Lila is now on her own. Her boyfriend has died, and so it's just her, and she's sees a group come up to this abandoned Walmart. So she watches them and sees that everybody but one person goes in. So she tries to sneak to see if she can steal some food from them, and she gets caught. And this is a group run by this guy named Logan, and he agrees to take her in if she like pulls her weight basically. And he's not a bad guy, he's just a leader in this type of environment. And Deck is assigned to kind of keep an eye on her during this time, and he does not speak, and he also does not want to leave her alone. So I'm loving this post-apocalyptic world.
Okay. All right. Well, book number 2 for me is a dark romance. It's a dark captive romance. A shocker, I know. So this is Destroy Me by Samantha Dyes. This is about our heroine, who is Amelia. She is going on a hike with her boyfriend Brian, her fiance Brian. They've been together for many years. Brian is he's got some financial troubles going on, and they are using the hike as an excuse. It's like an overnight camping trip hike, as an excuse to reconnect and to figure out, he's promising her that these things are taken care of, and so she's trusting him, and she goes hiking in the woods with the boyfriend. Later that night, they're camping by a river when she wakes up and realizes that she's alone in the tent and he's not there. So she goes to look for him, and that is where she runs into this giant man, a giant bearded man, who then kidnaps her and takes her back to his place, where he chains her to the wall, and nothing is as it seems. And that's all I'm gonna say. And Mandy went missing. All right, now that you're back, what is book number 2 for you?
Okay, book number 2 for me is Overtake by S.J. Silvis. I am like obsessed with Vanstone racing now. I just love this book so much. So this is about Tess and Rome. Rome gets in a pretty bad accident while he's racing, and it's caused by his dad, who's part of the racing team, because this is F1 Formula racing. And his dad causes the accident basically because he's cheating and trying to, create a faster team by cheating. And so Rome is fed up with it, and he decides to leave, and he goes to Vanstone Racing. Vanstone Racing is run by the Vanstone family, who are actual rivals of um, Rome's family, and the dads used to be friends, and now they're kind of like enemies. So Tess, who is the engineer for the Vanstone family's race team, is not very happy when she finds out that Rome is coming over, because they've kind of been raised to not really like that family. And so she's not pleased about it. And the two of them now have to work together on this race team, and there's just a lot of different dynamics going on, and I love the racing aspect of it. I thought it was written really well, and I loved the rivals slash enemies to lovers feel in this, because they really are. And sometimes I feel like that can fall flat in some books, because you don't really feel that, and in this one you really do. So I loved it a lot.
Okay.
That's
All
why it
right.
was my second favorite book of the month.
Because you loved it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my number 1 book of the month is one that is going to go down as one of my top books of the year. Do you know what it is?
Hmm?
You know what it is?
Well, I'm trying to think. Give me a hint.
I've been waiting for the second book to come out. I'm in the middle of it right now.
Oh, the Omega book. where she has to, like, the pack takes in another omega and she is not like,
It's
yeah,
angsty as hell.
I don't like that. That feels too love triangle-y.
It's not a love
Does
triangle.
she stay in the pack? Do they like, oh
I
my
can't.
gosh, this is stressful.
I can't.
Tell us about
I
the
can't
book.
tell you that. Okay. All right. So I am in the middle of the
She
second
could
book.
end up having to leave the pack.
Can I just talk about the book? We're not going to give anything away. Can I? I can't give you plot points. I can't tell you this stuff. You just have to ride the wave, like ride the wave.
No, that stuff gives me anxiety.
Oh, and I love it. Okay, so that's the way I like about it. So this
I
is
like
Tormented.
angsty, but not
This is
anxiety.
angsty and anxiety ridden. So this is Tormented Omega by Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene is actually the Omegaverse pen name for Samantha Dies. So basically my top two are by the same author. She just used a different pen name for both. So this is a Why Choose Omegaverse. And it is just so good. I'm in the middle of the second book right now. It's just as great. Okay, so this is about V. V has been with this pack, Raygun's pack, for 4 years, almost 5 years. She was promised, because in this world, you either go to like the Omegaverse has like a sanctuary type place where they keep Omegas if they're not bonded, or they have to be with a pack. They have to be with an alpha of some kind in this world. They can't just be out walking around on their own. Those are the laws of the land. So she has been with this pack for almost 5 years. When they took her from the Omega Institute housey place, they told her that if they didn't find their scent match by the 5th anniversary, they were going to bond her into the pack. Because in this world, the scent match is like very rare, and that's obviously their fated mate. But if they were to bond her, an unscented matchy person, with them before they find their scent match, then they lose the ability to smell their scent match. Like they just kind of lose that. So if their scent match came along later, they wouldn't even know it. So they wanted her to wait 5 years. So it is like just days or a week or so before the 5-year anniversary. They've taken her to the zoo. They've had this great day with her. They've treated her to some fun Omega things, and they sit her down and they tell her, we've met our scent match. Like she thinks they're going to say it's time to bond. And they tell her we've met our scent match. We've been courting her for 2 months. She's going to come live with us, and we're keeping both of you. But the problem is they're scent matched to that girl, which means they have a connection and a draw to her more than they do to V. And so if there's an argument, who are they going to choose? Well, they're going to choose their scent match. Like if something goes down between the two of them, whose side are they going to choose? They're not supposed to choose sides, but they're going to choose the side of their scent match. And so poor V is in this situation where they're keeping both of her, and it is just angsty as hell. As hell. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
So does she get to stay in the pack?
Packs are dicks.
Yeah, it kind of does sound like it. She should just go start a new pack.
Some guys move in next door who are their own pack that don't have an Omega, but they're keeping secrets too. So, I don't know. But they become her sanctuary for a while. But then we'll see. I don't know. I'm still in the middle of the second book. I don't know what's happening here. Like I'm 3/4 of the way through, and I still don't know who's going to end up with who.
We probably need to do convincing again.
Yeah. But then you're probably going to choose the Omegaverse that I read where she's with her stepdad, because I know you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What is your number one book?
Okay. Do you know what it is?
Oh, gosh. You read 45 books this month.
Yeah. Tell me name as many of the books that I read this month that you can. Go.
Is it a Claire Kent book?
Yes.
Oh, it is. Is it Last Light?
It is.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yes. Ta-da!
Oh, is that the book you were waiting on? Because that looks fresh and new.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about Last Light.
I ordered Lost Song, but I ordered the special edition from the author. And then I thought, I've been making these like reels just being funny about like book buying and credit card debt and like day one of not buying books and more books keep showing up.
Mhm.
And I think I really actually might have a book buying problem. Like it may not be funny anymore. And I probably need like some control and not like a joking. I think there's a problem.
You would bite my head off if I tried to control it. So here you go. Just talk about it. I'm not getting into that fight
Okay.
with you.
So last light. Oh, I love this one so much. So this is Lane and Travis. And Lane is making her way to Fort Knox because everyone in her town has passed away. And those who hadn't had already left for Fort Knox. But her grandma is who she lived with, who she loved dearly. And so she stayed because her grandma couldn't make the trip. And she knew her grandma was going to be passing away, but she just couldn't leave her grandma. So she stayed with her grandma. Her grandma's passed away. So now she's on her own trying to make it to Fort Knox. This is if you've ever watched like The Walking Dead, I always felt like the big part of The Walking Dead isn't people learning how to deal with zombies or even like survival. It's navigating a lawless society without a lot of people having morals anymore. Like it's kind of a be killed or kill situation. And so I feel like a lot of like, I think about like that part of The Walking Dead when I'm reading this series because there's a lot of people out there that are up to no good, but there's also still a lot of good people. So anyway, in this, it's I guess what I'm trying to say is it's pretty dangerous for her to be traveling by herself because there's hordes of people. What did they call them? Is it a horde? No, it's not a horde.
No, they call them drones
A drove.
or drove. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like what they call droves of like really nasty people that come through and just rape and kill and take. And so it's kind of a dangerous place. So, anyways, she is making her way to Fort Knox when she runs into Travis. Travis lived in the same town as her. He tries to get her to come with her, and she's like, absolutely not. And she continues on her own. Well, later she's in kind of a situation, and because Travis is traveling in the same way, he ends up showing up there, and the two of them then decide to kind of form an alliance, if you will, and travel together to Fort Knox. But there's a lot of things that are going to come up along the way that are going to cause some problems. This is a slow burn, but I loved it. When I finished it, I kept wanting to be like, oh, I really want to go read my book again. Like when I would like have some time to go read, and I'd be like, oh, dang it, I finished that book. Like, and I'm like, that is a really good book when you have finished it and you keep wanting to go back and read more, which is
Yeah,
what
exactly.
set the spiral of my Claire Kent obsession.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Well, now let's switch gears and talk about our top audio.
Yes, let's. I just realized I wrote it down, but I didn't flag it. So while you're talking, I will be
Well, I'm talking, you're going to find
frantically
it. Yep.
going
Okay.
through.
Well, mine was one. This has happened for all 3 of the months that we've done this. That I read the book physically, and the audio came out this year. But this audio just stood out, and so that
Is it
is
DD Prince?
no.
Oh,
Oh no, but that'll probably be next month. So, but 8 Seconds to Fly by Grace McGinty came out, and it is so good. It's a full cast narration. And it is done by Avery Harris, James Cassidy, Ryan Lee Dunlap, and Oscar Reyes. One of the guys voices 2 of the guys because this is reverse harem. So you've got a few different cowboys, but this is one where you get all the cowboys. So, and they're bull riders, which is just stinking hot. So this is about Tessa May. Good old Tessa May. Her dad has raised bulls her whole life, and he's partnered with this other guy who has a son named Branch, and Tessa and Branch and Bo all grow up together. And when the book starts out, she's about to climb on her first bull. She wants to be the first female bull rider. She knows these bulls. She's been around these bulls. The dad and the partner raised them for the rodeo circuit. And so she wants to be the first female bull rider to win in the rodeo circuit. And so she gets thrown from that bull. The guys find out that it's her. Everybody loses their mind. And then something pretty tragic happens. And it takes her away from bull riding for a handful of years. Well, now she's back, and she is bound and determined to win that belt. She is bound and determined to win that trophy or whatever they win when they're bull riding, and be the girl to beat and to be the first female bull rider to win. And so now that she's back with Frankie, who is a bullfighter, and her best friend, and she travels with him. And then she runs into Bo and Branch, who are the boys that she grew up with. There's a total hate to love thing going on between her and Branch. And there's also another bull rider that she rode one night and a year or so before, and then ends up running into him because he's friends with the whole group. And it's just a whole why choose thing. But I love it because it is the rodeo, like it is the whole bull riding. Oh my goodness, it's just it is yummy. But I love her and want to be the first. It's just, oh, the audio was amazing. It was fantastic. I was even messaging Grace with like a southern accent because they all have accents and there was a twang, and I was like, I developed a twang, and Grace laughed at me a lot.
Let's hear it.
Oh no, I can't do it. We're not gonna do that. Okay, I don't want to insult any of our southern listeners. But you know what? After I hang out with my friend from Texas for a while, I do develop her accent. It's a problem. I pick it up easily. Okay.
I am sorry about the noise. There is a little bit of a chicken bullying situation going on.
I didn't hear that.
Okay.
Yeah.
My son was in here monitoring it earlier, and like I can't remember which chicken is, but he's named the chickens, and one of them is kind of picks on a lot of other ones.
Man,
It
that's rough.
happens. Chickens are awful.
They are. Mm-hmm.
To
Yep.
each other. Like
Yes.
there is no bonding or friendship.
No.
Although, you know something, this is just really random, and then I'll talk about my books or book. My chickens, so I went through a phase where I really enjoyed chicken collecting. And was getting all these different breeds of chickens. And so something I noticed is my chickens became like breed racist. And they would sit in the coop on the roost based on their breeds. So all the Barred Rocks would sit together, the Rhode Island Reds would sit together, the White Leghorns would roost
They
up
had
in the
their own
raft.
cliques. Okay.
Yes, they did. It was
Interesting.
wild.
Hmm. Did you have a talk with them?
I just thought it was really weird. I'm like, it is really odd that you guys all sit by your breeds in here in like different sections. So I'm
Very odd.
curious if that's going to happen with my new batch too.
I guess we'll find out.
I'll keep everyone updated.
Thanks. Can't wait. Okay, what is your top audiobook?
Okay, my top audiobook, and this is why it wasn't flagged, is because I just listened to it last weekend. And so we haven't done our 1 minute book rec. So I struggled a little bit because I was gonna pick what was I gonna pick? Ring of Truth, but then I decided to go with Cash by Jessica Peterson, and this is done by Stephen Dexter and Lila Winters. I just really like fell into this book so much, so that's why I decided to pick it. So Molly's estranged dad passes away unexpectedly. He's like in his 50s. I think it was a heart attack, and she inherits his huge cattle ranch there in Texas. So she leaves the city. She lives in Dallas, and her mom has kind of poisoned her a little bit against her dad because her dad stayed out on the ranch. Mom came and raised her in the city, and there was like a 3 hour drive, and he didn't want to leave the ranch. Mom didn't want to take her out to the ranch, you know, so it was one of those things. So she kind of grew up without her dad in her life. And he apparently had some really big, deep regrets about that. So when he dies, he leaves the cattle ranch to her. Cash has been running his or helping, like, is his main right hand man on the farm. He also has his own ranch that him and his brothers are running, but that ranch is kind of in dire need. Like, they need money and stuff. So that's why they're working other ranches trying to save their ranch. And so Cash was under the impression that her dad was leaving the ranch to him. So he is floored when he finds out it was left to Molly. But it's one of those fun little stipulations where Molly has to go and live and work on the ranch for a year before she can inherit it or sell it or anything like that or get her trust fund. And so Molly reluctantly goes out for a month and really slowly starts to fall in love with the ranch and maybe Cash too. So I loved it, and it led me into binging part of the series. I'm like
Cool.
really into it now.
Okay.
It's a really good cowboy romance.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's wrap her up. I got a book to read and a video to edit. So let's get this going.
Okay. I have a chicken bullying situation I need to intervene in and
Yeah,
talk
quick
about.
before something happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So please make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and sometimes Wednesdays. But I don't know that we're going to have one this coming Wednesday because it is our spring break and we kind of have other things going on and had to reschedule some things. So most Wednesdays you can also find a video, but always Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
Yeah, and let us know what your top book was for the month too.
Yes.
If you
I
had a
think I
top book.
said that at the very beginning, but let's
don't
remind
remember.
them and hit
Just
that
in case.
subscribe button if you haven't, and
Yeah.
tell your friends. We're trying to really grow the channel
Mhm.
because somebody's got a book buying problem.
Oh, okay. Thought I was going to get blamed for something here. Off the hook. All
You
right, guys.
also have a book buying problem too. It's not just me, but I might be worse.
Oh, wow. Okay. Uh-huh.
What? You don't
I'm-
think that? Okay, never mind.
Nope. Nope.
We
I'm
just
not
need channel money
acknowledging
to support my
any.
book buying and not yours, apparently.
I'm not acknowledging any problems here. I'm going to live in denial a little while longer. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.